Right now, you've probably felt bored at some point today. A few empty minutes, nothing demanding your attention. That restless, slightly uncomfortable feeling of having nothing to do. It feels like a distinctly modern problem. But did people tens of thousands of years ago ever feel the same thing? The answer is more complicated than you might expect. To understand boredom, you first need to understand what it actually is, psychologically. Psychologist John Eastwood, who has studied boredom extensively, defines it as the uncomfortable feeling of wanting to be engaged in a satisfying activity, but being unable to do so. Notice what that definition requires: a brain capable of recognizing its own unmet need for stimulation. That capacity isn't new. It's wired into how human attention works. So in theory, your ancestors had the same neurological hardware to feel bored. But their daily environment looked almost nothing like yours. Anthropologist James Sussman, who spent years studying the Jew or Hawansi people of the Kalahari, observed that traditional hunter-gatherer life rarely produced long stretches of true unstructured emptiness. Most hours were filled with something: tracking animals, processing plants, making tools, caring for children, or simply talking with the group. Even rest wasn't truly idle. Sitting quietly often meant watching the environment, listening for danger, or being present in ongoing conversation. There were very few moments where a person had absolutely nothing to focus their attention on. Now picture an evening in that kind of life. The group has eaten. Tools have been repaired. Children have been fed and settled. And yet, around the fire, people are still rarely alone with silence. This is where storytelling, music, and conversation filled the space that, in your life, might otherwise become boredom. Researchers studying small-scale societies have noted that almost any unfilled moment defaulted to social interaction rather than solitary disengagement. In other words, the raw capacity for boredom existed. But the conditions that produce it today, prolonged isolation, repetitive low-stimulation tasks, waiting with nothing to do, were far less common. Here's the twist that makes this more interesting. Some researchers argue that boredom as a frequent, named culturally recognized experience is actually tied to specific historical shifts, not just brain wiring. Historian Peter Tuhey, who has written on the cultural history of boredom, traces clear written references to it back to ancient Rome and Greece, often connected to leisure among the wealthy who had time without obligation. For most people throughout history, including much of the ancient and medieval world, daily survival left little room for the specific kind of empty time that produces modern boredom. Boredom, in this view, isn't simply about having free time. It's about having free time with nothing meaningful filling it, and few options for choosing what comes next. Hunter-gatherer life often had plenty of unstructured time, but it rarely lacked immediate social engagement or purpose within it. Modern life can be the opposite, highly structured, yet filled with moments of waiting, alone, with no clear task, scrolling for something to fill the gap. So here's the reframe. It's not that ancient humans never experienced anything like boredom. It's that their world rarely created the specific conditions modern boredom thrives on: isolation, repetition without immediate social context, and unlimited choice paired with no clear direction. Your ancestors filled empty moments with each other. You often fill them with a screen, alone, searching for the next small hit of stimulation. The feeling might be ancient, but the shape of the problem, the constant low hum of mild boredom so many people report today, may be something closer to a side effect of modern life itself. Next time you feel that restless itch of having nothing to do, it might be worth asking what your ancestors would have done in that exact moment. There's a good chance the answer involves turning to the person next to them instead of away from them.